What's up, Facebook? We are back. We back to talk about the sorry Atlanta Falcons.
What's going on? What's going on, gang?
I got my bro Julian back with me. The Falcons lost 30-20 to end their season 7-10. And the season is over, thank God, finally, for the Falcons.
Thank God.
Thank God. How do you feel about that game? How did you feel about watching that game?
The same way I felt about the entire season. Up, down, up, down, up, down. No fire. Very few plays that I can really think about this game that really even showed any passion. Even after the one-handed catch by God darn it. Anyway, after the one-handed catch we made on offense, I thought that would have set some type of spark. This is the first time I can remember in a long time for a New Orleans versus Atlanta game where it didn't feel like a rivalry. Very bland. No real big hits. No real, signifying moment in the game that we're accustomed to seeing in New Orleans games versus Atlanta games. It just seemed like everybody's ready to get on the bus if you're in the Falcons jersey. You know what I mean? Even Matt Ryan, it just seemed like everybody was just ready to get on the bus and get on with the offseason. They got tickets booked to Hawaii already.
Hey, I agree. 100%. This game did not feel like Falcons Saints even leading up this week. It just felt like they were ready to get it over with. And like you said, to me, when I thought that we quit was right on that 14-point stretch where old boy made that one-handed interception. I think Adebo is his name. He made that one-handed interception that turned into a touchdown. Then, like you said, Mike Davis, who by the way better be off this roster this offseason, had two.
I think Mike Davis was just brought in just for a body. You know, we need 53 men. I don't think now that the season's over, I think the bias gloves we can. You know what I'm saying? Let's take them off. Prepare for the offseason. Cordell Patterson, I don't think any of us expected him. Maybe some explosive plays. He showed out this year. That was since the Thomas Dimitroff era. That might have been the best. No, that's wrong because I forgot about Michael Turner and Tony Gonzalez. But he's definitely up there as one of the best free agent acquisitions I can remember as a Falcon fan. Definitely, 100%. Man, this roster is baloney, man. I don't know, man. I'm gonna let you sound out, man.
I do agree with you 100%. For number one, the Falcons were a loss off from my prediction before the season. I said they were going to go 8-9, but I do agree with you. This is a bad roster. We came into the situation this season real bad. We didn't have no money. We traded Julio, but I think what transpired throughout the season, we saw a decline in Matt Ryan. We already knew going into the season that we were going to have issues on both lines. Mm-hmm. But as you said, I think we needed to fill a roster to start off, number one. And then I also got to add to what Julian's been saying it all season long. It's not a coaching issue fully.
Not fully. Rookie head coach. We have to give that some type of, it is what it is. It's a rookie head coach. We all remember our first day on the job. Let's just, let's try to be objective about it. I know we're very passionate Falcon fans, but also at the same time, I know we're tired of this conversation. But considering first-year head coach, he was only an OC in Tennessee 2 years. Before then, he was a tight ends coach. So Arthur Smith overachieved. Me and you have talked about this off camera, and I'll ask it again. Do you think Dan Quinn could have mustered up 7 wins with this roster?
No, not at all. Not at all. Oh my comments. Chris, what's up, bro? He said we need talent. Yeah, that's one of the big things.
Immediately. We need talent immediately.
Ken said no Saints in the playoffs. Yes, sir. The 49ers won that game in LA, which put this Niners into the postseason as a 6th seed.
We should have started off the show. Hey, matter of fact, people out there, we apologize. We should have started the show off with no Saints in the playoffs.
So that win meant nothing. Quentin, what's up, bro? He said Falcons won't progress until leadership accepts that we are in a rebuild. Yeah. I don't think they know that we're okay. I don't think they know that we are. They don't want to accept it because they came into this season. You heard Arthur Smith say, hey, we're going to come into this season. That Kyle Pitts pick, side note, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I destroyed the move in April. Kyle Pitts is the real deal. I will not take anything away from him. He had 1,000 yards as a rookie. Salute to that guy. But it's hard when you're on a roster that has no talent. And that's one of the biggest things for the Falcons that it's this season showed. Kyle Pitts is incredible. But again, no talent means this is what happens this season. Well, he didn't know we were going to not have Calvin Ridley at all this season. So it was rough from a lot of ways. Let's go to the comments. Castro Cowboys. Yeah, y'all number 3 seed. We'll see y'all next week. AJ said the top 8 pick in the Saints fell short. I'm happy. Yes, sir. I'm gladly going to be happy with the number 8 pick in the draft. We need that. This is a really big draft. The Falcons need to hit every way, shape, form, or fashion. Tevin, what's up, bro? He said overhauls is coming. Yes, sir. This team should be overhauled from the beginning all the way down. We do know Matt Ryan will be back next season. That's because of his contract. We're not going to be able to get off that contract this offseason. So you might as well get ready for Matt Ryan's 2022 season. I think we're going to move on from him after that. Jordan, what's up, bro? He said time to rebuild and start from scratch. Yes, it is. We do need to go ahead and get this thing jumping now. We have to kill it this draft. We're not going to have a lot of money in free agency, so it's going to be intriguing to see what this team do. Amy, what's going on? She said, "Woo, season over." Yes, I'm so happy it's over. Chris said, "No all-pro offensive or defensive linemen 10 to 15." Yeah, we don't have a lot of talent there. So it's really rough to be upset with this roster at this point because, I mean, we have not done a good job drafting those trenches. Our trenches is probably the weakest in the league, which it shows week in and week out. Darius, what's up, bro? It says it's time to rebuild. Really wants out, and next season will be Matt Ryan's farewell season. I definitely agree with that 100%. I think that this is going to be – I think Ridley is going to be traded at some point. And I also think that Matt Ryan could be a former Falcon in 2023. So we'll see. Chris said we should have drafted Surtain Jr. I'm not going to disagree with that, but I will say that I'm more understanding of the Kyle Pitts pick, although I wanted Michael Parsons personally.
Ken, I came back at the right time.
All right. Ken said
Michael Parsons. I came back at the right time.
Yes, sir. Ken said we cannot afford another sorry draft. No, we cannot. We cannot miss in this draft coming up. We can't.
No.
We can't afford it. Let's see.
Speaking of the draft, do you have a position? Do you have a favorite position in mind, or are we going back best player available?
I think best player available, honestly. I think you need to get as many draft picks as you can. So that goes to our conversation that we've had before as far as moving either. At this point, I will say we know Matt's going to be here in 22. But I do think between Jake Matthews, Dion, or Grady, one of those 3 is going to be gone, if not 2. I think you got to move one of those guys and potentially see what you can get for them as far as coming up, because I really don't see a scenario where all 3 are back next season. From a cap situation, I think we're going to move on from Calvin Ridley this offseason, especially hearing that news they're ready to part ways with each other. How do you feel as far as, like, we know the core 4 contracts. We know one's going to be here next year. But as far as Grady, Debo, and Jake, who do you see?
Well, for starters, if we all remember, when Dion signed his deal was an extremely team-friendly deal. So I think his value that he has remaining, he may not be the best run defender, but he still has value as a pass cover linebacker. So considering that, along with the team friendly contract, I can see Dion being moved first. It doesn't affect us financially, considering we already don't have much of a financial positive whatsoever thus far, keeping Matt Ryan. For anybody out there that doesn't understand why Matt Ryan will be back, how about a $50 million dead cap reason? We're already breaking NFL negatives as records. That would be another one. That would be another breaker for dead cap money. We're doing pretty good with the money we're spending already on players not on the roster. That's coming down. I think next year's Trufant's last year. I think he comes off the books. I think next year's Freeze last year, he comes off the books.
Yeah.
So we're starting to get money back. You know what I mean? We're getting money back. So Dion and Calvin, I already felt that Calvin's value was already at a premium. So take advantage of that. You know, do one of the Bill Belichick's. Cut you. Let me get rid of you now instead of later to keep that value. Calvin really, I think most of us disagree on the value he would bring. Is it a first? Is it a second? Is it 2 seconds? Is it a third? I think we kind of disagree as a fan base on that. Me personally, I can see Deion Jones going for maybe another third, maybe another fourth or third. He's very bad in run defense, like very bad.
Very bad. I agree.
Very, very, very bad. North and South is not your guy.
This is the perfect comment that matches what you're just talking about. Jones run a 4-for-4 to be in the wrong position in arm tackle. Please trade him. Yes, we were just talking about, before we even went on air, we were just talking about how bad Deion Jones was on that first touchdown for the Saints, where he was out of position most of that drive. And it's so sad because the guy was once an elite, to me, was going on the verge of being an elite linebacker, but he fell off so bad, as you said, back in 2018. From that point on, he just wasn't the same.
From the broken foot, I think. Go ahead.
I agree. And from this point hold on, let me go to this comment. Ken said we can't blame Jones. He went from a 3-4, 3-4. I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with that. Because to me, a 3-4 fits his play style better, just like it does a Luakon. But the issue is
he's light in the ass. That's the issue,
right?
He's light in the ass. And if we're going to be objective, oh, look at that, too light in the ass. So if we're going to be okay. Once again, the season's over. Bias gloves are off. We're talking football now. We're talking straight football. Bias gloves off. Deion Jones was getting his ass whooped in the 4-3. Coming up, guards was whooping his ass in the 4-3 as a stacked linebacker. Now, granted, do I think we use Deion Jones' speed to the best of his ability as a middle linebacker with his size? No. But also, when we play the bigger dominant teams, Philly, the New Englands, the San Franciscos, the big physical O-lines, what is their MO? Hit you in the mouth. They literally find Deion Jones and hit him in the mouth. That's been happening for a while. Nobody should be confused and ever call Deion Jones this amazing run great or this amazing run defender. North and South, he's getting his ass whooped. East and West, I don't know too many running backs who's running away from Deion Jones. But how long are we supposed? How long do you think a team will keep doing that before they figure, oh shit, center guard combo, hit his ass in the mouth? That's why Fourier came in. If people remember in the 4-3 with Dan Quinn, Fourier played strong side. Now in the 3-4. Fourier is now inside, and Dion is kind of now the will linebacker now. He's kind of pushed out. Dion is a great blitzer. I think his blitzing ability is way undervalued. I agree there. I think Dion has great speed and great acceleration, but I don't think Deion Jones is a primary backer for this team.
I agree. And I like it, Ken. I do agree with you about his limit, as June just mentioned. He was limited to a certain extent as far as his play style, but hold on, let me throw this in here too. Q said, "Here goes to Deion Jones slander. He fell because talent round and fell off." I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with that. The reason I understand what you mean by what you just said in that comment. However, to me, Foye Oluokun has thrived despite the talent. Whereas
in both systems, might I add, in both systems.
He was coming on late in that 4-3 last year with Raheem Morris, and then he played well this year. To me, Deion Jones have fell off gradually in the last 2 years. And he's out of position for him to be an up-tempo linebacker because to me, he has the speed of a Devin White. He has the speed of those type of guys. So Deion Jones should not be getting burnt by any tight end. I'm watching Troutman whoop him off the ball. I've watched most tight ends this season whoop him off the ball. And for him to be an up-tempo linebacker, I don't like the. I think he's lost. And on top of that, I would respect it more if he wasn't so highly, how I want to put it, if he wasn't paid so much. It would be different if his contract wasn't what it was. He's getting paid to be a Pro Bowl to elite linebacker, and he's not performing at that level. So at the end of the day, he's going to be judged a lot more because this is a former Pro Bowl linebacker that you're paying double-digit $1 million to not get beat in coverage 80% of the season. And that's where the problem comes into play. When you got a younger Oluokun, and to be honest with you, I'm sure you might agree with this, Michael Walker at moments have his stretches that he's not lost in coverage either. So
I was letting you go on your rant, and I was gonna find my way in. First point you made, when Deion Jones first came into the league, and this is not a let's jump on Deion because we can go around the whole 22 starting. We can do this all night. But we have to call out our vet guys, our captains, the guys we depend on. We have to call them out. To your credit, the point you made earlier, when Deion Jones first came into the league, let's remember Deion Jones was then used as the prototype linebacker for the new modern football.
Yes, he was.
Quan Alexander was drafted from LSU right behind Deion Jones because everybody thought he was the next Deion Jones. Devin White was, granted, 15 pounds bigger, but that speed, that range, that east and west ability to be able to shut down screens, shut down tight ends, shut down the flats. Even if you had to, being able to run up seam and shut down the seam. So a lot of linebackers today, a lot of coaches from that draft saw a lot of Deion Jones because he was so shifty, he was so fast. I remember one game where he mirrored AK-47 but all that is pre the Cam Newton hit. If you, I can't remember which year. I think you said it was 2018. Go back and watch the hit. It was a gruesome bend of the foot. He missed, I think, 12 weeks. I don't know if it was broken. Something happened, and then he had surgery in the offseason. We have to be objective and unbiased and consider all of that in an extreme sport like football. Everybody's not going to be Tom Brady, tear the ACL, come back, maybe even better. That's not everybody. And it's okay. It's okay. I get it. I have my favorites. I actually like Isaiah Oliver. I think Isaiah Oliver was put in a position he was never going to succeed in. He's not a boundary cornerback. He's too slow for that. But he's definitely our best tackler in the secondary. Dan Quinn tried to make him outrun DK Metcalf. He's not doing that. Put his ass in the slot, move him around, make him hit everything in his 10-yard box. And once we started doing that, Isaiah Oliver slowly was creeping up a little better. Creeping up a little better.
I agree 100%. And that's, I think, is another thing that Dean Pease is kind of struggling with right now is he's a solid coordinator, but you got guys that don't fit your system. They wouldn't step onto your field if you were a part of this team for multiple seasons. So we were able to see a lot. He was trying to get as much as he could out of a group that's really not that talented. And I think in this case, some of the talent fits showed kind of. I know there's some fans that's going to probably like, well, Dean Pease is a terrible coordinator. But at the same time, when you look at what's on the roster, it's hard to evaluate certain things when it comes to him defensively. Now, I have more of, and I'm sure you agree with this too, I have more of a issue with Arthur Smith because to me, that's your name of your game. That's what you came in to do. You came in to make the best of an offense, even with not having Julio here no more, or those or Calvin Ridley gone for most of the season. This is what you came to here to do.
Right.
And for most of the time this season, you would get in the red zone. We would have bad drives. We would have moments where we're just not looking like we're even a competent offense half of the season. So that's why to us, like Ju said, we are addressing the veterans because at the end of the day, these are guys who was a part of that Super Bowl squad 5 years ago. So you cannot be a 6-year veteran in the league playing like a rookie. That's something I expect out of a guy like our rookies like Adonijah J and Taquan Graham.
Right.
And those guys like that.
Right. Even to what you just said, even AJ Terrell, dude. AJ Terrell probably plays the second or third hardest position in the NFL. I was very patient with AJ last year. Like, I'm expecting you to run just as fast backwards as some of the best athletes on earth. I'll take my time with that. The leap he.
Oh no, he's off the thing. We're gonna have to get him back real quick. You got to check in. Hold on, guys. Mike, what's up, bro? He said, proud of y'all, boy. Hey, man. Appreciate it, man. I'm trying to get him back on here real quick. Let me see this get cut off. Hold on 1 second, guys. But in the meantime, while he's on trying to come back, let me make sure he's coming back. In the meantime, Tevin said what happened to Oliver in Sheffield. Sheffield's been hurt most of the year, and so has Isaiah Oliver. He's been hurt for most of the year as well, which hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm trying to get him back on while I'm talking to you guys. Yeah, Oliver in Sheffield has been hurt. I know Sheffield's played like the last maybe 2 to 3 games. I did see him play in the Buffalo game, so that's another thing that's going on with him. Just to go back up, let me go back to the comments. My bad. We have not been ignoring you guys. It's been a good conversation. Ken said that Dean Pease is trash. I don't know if I agree with that. Guys, give us a second. Give us 1 second. Don't go away. We're trying to get him back on the stream. All right, we're back. His phone, he's trying to come back in on his stream. He'll be back in a few minutes. Let me go back to these comments and catch up with what you guys were saying. Quavo, what's up, bro? He said, go Eagles. Hey, good luck to you guys. You got Buccaneers in the first round. It's going to be a tough one. Jordan said, let's talk about that young. Hey, he tackled better than half of the defense, to be honest with you guys. Kid said the best I've seen all year. Oh, man. Q said Black Monday tomorrow. Hey, I'm not really sure. I'm gonna just off topic from the Falcons for a second. I'm gonna throw a guy here that I think could be potentially fired for that collapse that just happened with their team. I think Frank Reich might be on the hot seat or could potentially be fired for how the coach just missed the playoffs in the last 2 weeks. You just basically wasted Jonathan Taylor. But I'm going to go back and catch up to some of the comments. You guys had some great things that you said earlier. We did. Amy, I'm going to start with Amy. Amy said, Grady, can we afford him? That's a tough question. The cap is going to go up this year. Only Julio's on the books for it, but I don't think that he's going to be the only guy that's on the book for the upcoming season. You know, I think we're going to end up finding ourselves in a situation where Grady's going to want more money. He's going to be 29 years old, and I don't think that the Falcons are going to be – it's going to be a toss-up. I think Grady deserves to be paid, but he also deserves to play for a winner. That's kind of how I feel for him. He's late. He's in his late 20s. I mean, the guy had 3 Super Bowl sacks in Super Bowl. So we know he could easily go on a contender and take them to the next level. Tevin said trade Ridley, Dion, and Jake Matthews. I would not be opposed to trading at least 2 of those 3. I kind of think they're going to let Jake Matthews stay for one more season. I think they're going to do probably from the cap situation. Myron said, my only pushback to cutting / trading Matthews is that we would have more problems on the offensive line. To be honest, it can't get any worse. And I hate to say that because in my personal opinion, Chris Lindstrom is the only worthy top offensive lineman that we have on the team. To be honest with you, we may need to say I don't feel like we've done a good job evaluating linemen, whether it's offensive linemen or defensive linemen. I don't think we've done a good job evaluating on either side. So I think that the Falcons need to look into potentially going in a veteran direction, maybe making that their option in free agency, and don't even consider touching a offensive lineman unless it's a first rounder in like the top 8 if they do choose to go there in the draft. Let me go back to the comments. Jordan also agrees to trade Ridley, especially after the fact he doesn't want to be here. Yeah. And I'm not going to ever say that he doesn't want to be that. I don't feel that. I'm not going to say that his mental situation. Let me go ahead and clear that off the record real quick. I would never say that his mental health issues are a lie or anything like that. I just think if you don't want to be an Atlanta Falcon, then I don't want you to waste your time being a Falcon. Quentin said we should let Grady Joe grow, let him sign with the Rams and Cowboys and flourish. Trade him. Trade him at the end of his contract. So go ahead and move on and start looking into your future. AJ said if we cut Mike Davis, we get $2.5 million back and an $800,000 penalty. I don't think he has but a 1-year deal. So I think that money is going to come off the books no matter what. Jay, what's up, bro? He said, I'm glad the season's over. Me too. Oh my goodness. I can't. This team irritated me for these 18 weeks. So I'm so happy the season is over. Kim Burns said a lot of older talent is gone. Yeah, that's true too. I think the Falcons are in a stuck spot because we were paying so much money out to guys we cut from the True Funds and Ricardo Allen, guys like that we needed to get off the roster altogether. And now going into this next season, the Falcons have may have a little more flexibility on their hands. And as we actually in the middle of talking about this right this second, I kind of want to add the salary count just to kind of speak about why we're going to be bringing back Matt Ryan, just to throw this as an example. I'm not sure. I'm sure some of you are aware of this salary cap situation, but I'm going to go and show it real quick. Again, Julian will be back on in just a second, so don't go anywhere. I'm going to go pull up Sports Track. Let me X out of this. But I want to show you guys the screen. I want to show you guys the stream, this Sports Track. This is courtesy of sportstrack.com. As you can see, the Atlanta Falcons are coming into 2022 with $11 million at the moment. I'm gonna zoom in on the screen just a little bit so you guys can see, because I know it's a little different on the stream. But again, the Falcons are going in. Let me go over some. The Falcons have $11 million of cap space going into the 2022 season, aka the offseason. So at this moment, as you can see, let's go look at this Matt Ryan contract just to show you guys for an example. Matt Ryan cap hit next season is $48.6 million. You will not get rid of that money this offseason. Just to show you guys, you will not get rid of that money. That's 23% of our cap. This is the reason that Matt Ryan will be a Falcon in 2022. No more, no less. Although Arthur Smith says that he also wants him, from a business perspective, it makes no sense to move on from Matt Ryan in 2022. I'm going to show you why 23 is the better option of moving on from him. Grady Jarrett's cap hit next year is $23.8 million if he's on the roster. However, another thing just to show you guys, the dead cap for Grady Jarrett, if the Falcons choose to trade him, is $7.3 million. That's an option for the Falcons to get off that contract and potentially move on, maybe trade him in the offseason. So that could be a potential consideration for the Falcons to make a trade. So that's why we're saying that Grady may not be fully safe for that season. I think Jake Matthews will probably be here. He has also a $23.6 million cap hit. His dead cap is $19 million. So that could be a potential situation for the Falcons to move off from him. Also, Deion Jones has a $24 million post. As you can see, post June the 1st, his cap hit will be $19 million. So it drops as you get post June the 1st. As far as Matt Ryan post June 1st is $24 million. So although the Falcons are going to bring him back, this could be really interesting to see what the Falcons do. So just to give you guys an example, that's probably Matt Ryan's contract bonus that he's going to get if that's going to be the post June the 1st dead cap. Just to give you guys an example, that just to show you a little deeper. Grady's is going to be the same. Jake Matthews is going to drop to $11 million, which is going to be something to watch out for if the Falcons do choose to move on from Jake Matthews. Deion Jones is $19 million. So actually, outside of Grady, Jake Matthews' money could be a big one for the Falcons if they choose to move on from him going forward. Also, Calvin Ridley's going to have a fifth-year option for $11 million. I think that's going to be off the books this offseason because I think they're going to trade him. I do think they're going to go ahead and move on from him, to be honest with you guys. Looking at some other guys on the team, A.J. Terrell will be under contract next year. Dante Fowler probably will be gone. If you kind of take a look at his situation, Fowler has a $4.6 million sign-in bonus. That's it. He doesn't have any base salary, so the Falcons could move on from him also. Just to give you guys an example of what the Falcons could be looking into doing. And this is just another look at the rest of the team's contracts. We don't have a lot of money tied up into a lot of big names. And as Julian mentioned, that the Falcons don't have a lot of big dead cap at the moment. The Falcons would have Julio's cap his $15.5 million. You know, the Titans took almost that deal when they traded for Julio. So that is an outlook of the 2022 dead cap. One of the reasons that I said the Falcons may not move on from Matt Ryan until 23, this is going to give you guys an updated outlook of the 2023 salary cap. Mind you, this is if the Falcons don't re-sign Grady Jarrett, just to give you guys an example. So, as you see, it will take a major spike in as far as cap space going into 2023. Of course, this is pending if Grady is re-signed. Now, 2023. Matt Ryan's cap hit drops to $15 million if the Falcons choose to move on from Matt Ryan after 2022. That's another key factor right here for the Falcons. Jake Matthews' dead cap, his cap hit is $22 million, but his dead cap post June the 1st is $8 million. Deion Jones' post cap hit is $5 million. So this cap hit doesn't really take a factor no more after 2022. But as you see, the Falcons have an opportunity to kind of get off certain contracts after 2022. So that's the situation that the Falcons are kind of running into with this salary cap situation. So as I mentioned, going back to the conversation, Matt Ryan's contract is more feasible in 2023, right? So that's the thing that the Falcons are going to be looking into doing after this season. But again, just looking for the Atlanta Falcons, they kind of got a tricky situation they're going to be running into. As I mentioned, let me go to the comments. Tevin said $11 million. That's sad. I know. It is. But it's the unfortunate situation that the Falcons kind of got themselves into. And then when you think about the fact that the Falcons paid those Falcon for life contracts, Matt's contract is at his biggest net season. So is Jake Matthews. So is Deion Jones. 2022 is kind of the year that the Falcons are going to have a lot more of a problem moving those contracts. So Matt Ryan, we know we're going to take that $48 million cap hit this offseason in 22. So where did the Falcons go from here as far as Matt Ryan? I do think that Matt Ryan's the next man up do need to be coming into Atlanta this offseason, if not late in 2022, going into 23. But I think the Falcons kind of stuck in a spot because this isn't the best draft class for quarterbacks, in my personal opinion. But I don't know what the Falcons may choose to do. Also, if you have been trying to keep up with the Falcons as far as where they're going to be picking in the draft on the board in 2022's NFL draft, I think at the moment the Falcons are selected to pick 8. So with that loss, they finished with 7 and 10. They're going to be picking number 8 in the draft. At this moment, matter of fact, I want to see, do they have the updated draft order so I can show you guys so you can kind of know. Also, we will be, of course, we have the Tennessee Titans second round pick. So depending on what happens in the draft in the postseason for them, we'll know what happens with them. Okay, so this is let me bring this up to the main screen. Jay said we got to get through that season and we're good. Hopefully, yeah. If we can have a good draft, we can survive this offseason of not really having a lot of money. But it's a bad situation for the Falcons. They got a cap issue on top of the fact that you're trying to get this team together. So you're in a rebuild, but you got a lot of guys who are making big money that should be making that big money. Rex, what's going on, little bro? Appreciate you tuning into the stream. Let me show you guys the draft order for 2022 so you can know where we're going to be standing into the draft. Really, draft order is getting updated per the game, of course. Now, just to show you guys, as I mentioned earlier, the Jaguars are the number 1 pick in the draft. Detroit's number 2, Houston's 3rd. The Jets are going to be picking 4th and 7th. The Giants, that's the Giants, my bad. The Jets are going to be picking 4th and 10th. The Falcons have now moved to number 8 in the draft on the draft board. So the Falcons will be picking 8 overall. So I'm going to be intrigued to see who they're going to have us picking at that spot. As you, of course, you also see we're picking 43rd. Gitsy, what's up, bro? We said blow it up. Just cut everyone. If it was that simple, we would do it. If it was that simple, bro, we would do it. But again, as we mentioned, the Falcons are going to be picking 8 overall in the draft in the first round in April. They're going to be picking 43rd. Let's see, as far as the other second round pick, at the moment, that pick is number 63 because the Titans had the number 1 seed in the AFC. So that pick should, depending on what the Titans do in the playoffs, that pick may be much higher. But the Falcons do have 4 picks in the top 74, which is very good for the Falcons for a team that's trying to get in position to rebuild this team. Gibson said trade Matt Ryan to Pittsburgh. Arthur Smith already came out on record and said that he's not going to move on from Matt Ryan this offseason. That's coming from the head coach. So we can go ahead and kiss that move Matt Ryan thing goodbye at this moment. So he's not going to be moving to Pittsburgh. He's going to be at Falcon in 2022. But also, as I mentioned, again, the Falcons are going into 2022 with not a lot of money, but they got to figure out how to get this thing done. That's another thing. Also, let me go to the schedule's been updated as well for 2022. We finished with a third place schedule, so the Falcons are going to kind of know who they're going to be going against in Mercedes-Benz and as far as on the road this year. The Falcons will be playing the NFC. Before I continue, the Falcons are going to be playing the NFC. I want to say the NFC North. Let me go ahead. AJ said, I hate to say this, but Ryan is going to pretty much rot here until we have a core where we can build a quarterback around. As of now, it's not it. I do agree. The Falcons are stuck right now because there's not a lot of talent on this team or going into the draft where you can just say, we're going to sit Matt Ryan to the side and this is our guy. The Falcons are kind of in, although for anyone on the stream, you may agree with this, the Falcons are in the Baltimore Ravens situation that they had with Joe Flacco, where Lamar Jackson was the guy that they decided to gamble on because, hey, Flacco's taking up money. If Flacco can't get the job done, we're going to go with Lamar. Lamar ended up getting him to the postseason for a couple years. There's not a situation that the Falcons are running into where you can say, okay, a better spot than that season. So, again, the Falcons are kind of looking at a rough spot for themselves as far as can we get a quarterback in here this offseason. It's not going to happen for them. So, that's the part that sucks for the Falcons. Let me also, I think I just seen a comment say that we're going to play the NFC West in the AFC North. Let me go to these comments. Okay, so you did say we're going to play the North and the West. Okay, cool. So just to give you guys a breakdown of who we're going to be playing, that's our breakdown right there, which means the Falcons are going to have a pretty tough schedule in 2022. Though the dates aren't out yet, so we'll know. Of course, we'll know who will be playing where. But let me give you guys just a breakdown of what we're going to have home and away. So let me pull this up. Give me a second. I'm as I'm talking to you guys, I'm trying to pull up so you can kind of follow along with where we're going to be playing this season coming up in 22. Okay, so let me get a lot of these things out of the way. This is the site from fbschedules.com. Let me move these ass out of the way. Of course, we got Carolina, New Orleans, Tampa at home. Also in our home stretch, oh my God, our home schedule is rough. Sheesh. So guys, the 2022 home schedule consists of the Carolina Panthers, of course, the Saints and the Bucks. We got the Cardinals, the Niners, the Browns, Pittsburgh, and I want to say it's the Denver Broncos. It's going to be our home stretch. So that's our home schedule. This home schedule is going to be very, very tough for the Falcons coming up. Greg, what's going on? Oh, he said, you think the Falcons need to draft a rookie quarterback with this offensive line? No, not at all. I wouldn't draft a rookie quarterback with this offensive line. Not at all. I wouldn't do it. I will at least try to get me a line together. I would try to get my team kind of built, and then 23, possibly looking to get a quarterback, especially if a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud comes out after their sophomore season. That's what I would look into doing. Gipsy said that's distasteful already. Yes, it is. It really is, unfortunately. It's distasteful. I do agree 100%. As far as our road schedule, so it looks like it's going to be the AFC West. That's going to be the Broncos. So as far as the road, oh my gosh. The road schedule is even tougher. Of course, we got Tampa, New Orleans, we have Carolina. On the road, we're going to be going to Minnesota, at Baltimore, at Cincinnati, at the Rams, and at Seattle. This schedule is pretty tough, I must say, for 2022. So the schedule makers did us no favors. How the Falcons respond, we'll see. But there's no favors done with that schedule. Gissy said he feels sick. Oh, man, the schedule's tough. we find ourselves in a very, very rough spot. But again, the Falcons finished with a 7-10 record. I don't know what we're gonna do as far as this offseason. I think the Falcons should go best player available, but the Falcons have kind of put themselves in a spot where it's like you got to hit in this draft. They have 4 picks in the top 75, as I mentioned, and they got to hit in the draft. That's really where they are at this point. But I was hoping that Julian was going to get back on. I guess we're going to try to get him back on. We'll do another show at some point soon. We've been on for 45 minutes. But again, Falcon fans, season's over. We're going to be back on here really soon to schedule a show. So, hey, we got the Georgia Bulldogs actually playing in the national title game tomorrow night against Alabama. I will plan on doing a show, win or lose, possibly for the Georgia Bulldogs, no matter what happens with that game. But again, as I mentioned, the Falcons had a rough finish to their season. They finished 7-10 on the season. I'm going to take a couple more comments before I go off the air. Corey, what's going on, bro? He said, not too many great quarterbacks in this draft, in my opinion. Glad the coach is sticking with Matty Ice this season. I agree 100%. Although Matt is declining, I'm not going to go gamble on a quarterback in this draft. I'll be highly upset if the Falcons choose to take a quarterback in this draft. I will be highly upset. You said, roll Tide, roll. Hey, good luck to you guys tomorrow night. I think Georgia's going to play better than they played in December. I will say that much. But again, we'll see. We'll definitely see. But again, like I said, I'm going to get with Julian and try to get back on here. We were having a great show before it went off before his phone. I think his phone went dead on him, unfortunately, or the device he was using went dead on him. But again, we will get on here and talk about the Falcons a little bit more at some point this week. But until then, guys, this has been another show of All In with Nate. We had Block Talk on here. It was going great, man. I hate it. But I'm going to get with him. We'll be back on here this week. But until then, you guys enjoy Chargers Raiders. Just for a playoff note, whoever loses that game is out of the playoffs in the AFC. So good luck to those guys. This has been a very trying season for the Falcons. I appreciate everybody that's been tuning into the streams week in and week out. You guys have made the show great. But I will be on here to talk about the actual NFL playoffs. We're going to be talking a little non-Falcons. If we get into the topic of the Falcons, cool. If we don't, that's going to be cool too. But again, I appreciate you all tuning in this season to watch those Falcon streams. We're going to get back on here and talk about their offseason plans and talk about the state of the Atlanta Falcons. If you ever want to come on the show, let me know. We will schedule it. I would love to have you on here. But until then, the Atlanta Falcons lost 30-20 today. Season's over. They finished 7-10. You guys have a great rest of the night. Go Dogs tomorrow. And good luck to the rest of the week for the rest of the teams.